welcome in. Today we're going to talk about Godfather Death, as you saw. Something that I want to point out about this story is that it's written by Brothers Grimm, and honestly, this story has transcended time, and it has such impactful meaning. That's what makes it literature. One of the things that I want to talk about first and we're going to go through the whole book, or the whole story, but one of the things I want to talk about first is the theme of the story. You could probably pull different themes from this story if you would like, but the one that I think is central and the most key one is that death is the great equalizer. You cannot cheat death. But we're going to start at the beginning. The story starts out with a man who has 12 children, and then as he's having his 13th, and we're not going to get into the number sequences of this, but as he has his 13th child, he realizes, I can't provide for this child. I need help from some other being. And luckily for him, he has three supernatural options. The first one being God, who the man said, I am God, that I do not wish to have you for a godfather, said the man. You give to the rich and let the poor starve. For he did not know how wisely God divides out wealth and poverty. And he turned away from the Lord and went on his way. Then he comes across the devil. Obviously, the devil is not probably somebody you want to give your child up to. He even describes how he deceives mankind and leads them astray, so he can't even trust him with what he's offering to give him. Then death comes along. And death introduces himself straight up, and this is where we get our first indication of the theme. It says, I am death, who makes everyone equal. And then the man said, you are the right one. You take away the rich as well as the poor, without distinction. You shall be my child's godfather. And so the die was cast. He continued to raise the child until he came of age, and then death came and gathered him. Death presented him with the opportunity with this plant that would make him this great physician. And I think that it's really interesting that he made him a physician, because he becomes this famous healer. By association, he should always be healthy. If he knows everything that's going on with everybody else, he shouldn't be the one getting sick or anything. But what I also think is really cool is that death did not tell him that he would never die. He didn't give him the answers to immortality. Moving past that, he continues on, and we see that he heals the sick, and people come to him trying to ask for help. But then the king falls ill, right? And this is where humanity really starts to slip in for the main character. He said, he made the decision, if I could only deceive death for once, thought the physician. He will be angry, of course, but because I am his godson, he will shut one eye. I will risk it. This is his first step in the wrong direction, right? Everything up until now, he's followed the instructions and he's done what he's supposed to do. But this is where humanity took over in the desire to defy death. And after that, death found out about it. He was really upset with him. Told him that, don't do this again, or you're going to be the one that goes with me, not the other way around. So he even threatened him with death if he gets deceived again. More temptation comes his way. He makes the same decision. He does it again. But we're going to skip ahead towards the very end, and what I think is the most, compelling part of this, what just wraps it all up. Death gets hoodwinked again, and he calls him on it. He takes him to a cave, where he walks in, and there's just candles everywhere. And I'm going to read a little bit. Show me my lifelight, said the physician, thinking that it still would be very large. Death pointed to a little stump that was just threatening to go out and said, see, there it is. Oh, dear godfather, said the horrified physician, light a new one for me. Do it as a favor to me so that I can enjoy my life and become king and husband to the beautiful princess. I cannot, answered Death. One must go before me, before a new one is lighted. Then set the old one onto a new one that will go on burning after the old one is finished, begged the physician. Death pretended that he was going to fulfill this wish and took hold of a large new candle. but desiring revenge, he purposefully made a mistake in relighting it, and the little piece fell down and went out. The physician immediately fell to the ground, and he too was now in the hands of death. So right there, no matter where they started, death gave him one chance, he gave him another chance, and I believe he gave him a third chance as well. That's probably more than anybody else has gotten, and yet he continued to still ask and ask for more. If that's not a critique on humanity, I don't know what it is. But even in the end, Death pretended that he was going to. He doesn't care. Death showed an absolute a cleansing of the hands. He had no attachment. He gave him instructions. He didn't follow it. There's consequences for your actions. And I just think that this whole story just transcends time, and it really has a good grasp on what is important for humanity. We should probably just do good, do right. We don't know if we'll grow old, if we'll die young. We just need to do what's right by each other and stick to our promises, or at least our vows, if you will. Do what you're supposed to do. But I'll leave you with that. Like I said, this is a great short story by Brothers Grimm. I think that everyone should at least read it once and get their own take on it. But that's all. Thank you.